Most people, they buy investment properties without ever seeing where those decisions are supposed to lead. They know property is important, but they don't have a clear picture of the long-term plan behind it. What I'm going to show you is how we map the end goal first, the retirement income, and then work backwards to build the structure, the timing, and the confidence to get there. And the end result might surprise you. In this example, 3 residential properties and 1 strategic move creates over $280,000 a year in passive income. Let me show you how. This is the platform we use internally to map out a client's full property and finance journey over time. Suburb selection and property choice, absolutely vital. They have a huge impact on performance, but they only work properly when they sit inside a clear long-term strategy. Without that strategy, even a great property can cause problems later with borrowing capacity, cash flow, or exit options. Here's a simple example. A couple, she's 44, he's 42, combined income of 250,000. They want to retire at 67. They own 1 property bought in 2020 for 660,000. It's recently been revalued at 1.1 million and they've got about $500,000 loan on it. They have about $100,000 in savings and their remaining borrowing capacity is just over 1 million. So the question is, what can they actually do with this and where does it lead? So before we look at any properties, before we look at any finance, we always start with the end goal. This couple's target is $150,000 per year in passive income. That's shown in the yellow line here. That's in today's dollars. Once we adjust for inflation over 23 years, that becomes roughly $265,000 at retirement age. Right now, their passive income is effectively zero. They don't have any investment properties. That's completely normal. The point isn't where they are today. It's knowing the exact gap in plan and building a plan to close it. That's what changes everything. Once people can see the destination, they start making better financial decisions across the board. Instead of money controlling them, they're controlling their money. Okay, so this is the part where we actually go into the platform and purchase the property. So based on the borrowing capacity here and the savings, I've done this a couple of times, so I'll just go through it quite quickly. They're able to buy the first property in 2026. We just use a $650,000 property that's got compound growth of 5%, rental yield of 4%. You can see the green line in this graph that it's grown up a wee bit. So now the borrowing capacity and the savings, again, remember I've done this before, they'll allow them to buy another property in 2027 for 650,000, but we'll get the future value. We'll use that compound growth. So that 650,000 of property will be 683,000 there. You can see the green line still going up here. Based on the borrowing capacity and savings, the next property that they can buy is in 2031. So we'll go in. Okay, we'll just put in, it's just an example, 650,000, get the future value at 830,000 purchase price. So we've input all those properties now, and you can see in the income section here, they have that 600, they have the rental income of 209,000 and running costs of 40,000. So it gives a passive income, net income of 162,500. So it's not quite the $265,000 target. So what's the missing piece? So this is the strategic shift that most people miss. Residential property builds growth, but growth alone doesn't fund retirement. You need yield, and that's where commercial property comes in. In this example, 2 of the 3 residential properties are sold before retirement in separate financial years for capital gains tax efficiency. By 2047, those sales have been completed and the couple now has around 3.6 million in usable equity. So I'll just go in and do that just now. Selling. So the first one is in 2046. Selling. We'll sell the first one that they purchased. And then in 2047, we will sell the second property they purchased. So that still leaves them with that one investment property, residential investment property, and they're owner occupied. So what do we do now? That gives them the borrowing capacity and the savings. So by 47, those sales have been completed, and the couple now has around 3.6 million in usable equity. That's shown in this one here. That equity we'll put in, it funds a $3.5 million purchase, commercial purchase in 2048. And that has a rental yield, net rental yield of 7. And we'll put the loan to value ratio down to 0 because they have the sufficient funds to purchase it outright. This is the green line and the income here, and you can see what's happened. So the rental income has went up to 295,000, well above the client's required target of 258. So this is the pivot. Residential creates the engine, commercial creates the income. And now they have a rental income of 295,000, passive income of 271,000. So above their target of 258. And so that is the pivot. Residential creates the engine, commercial creates the income. So with that commercial property plus the remaining residential investment they kept, the couple now has 280,000 per year net rental income at retirement. That exceeds their target. And here's the thing, we haven't even touched superannuation yet. And that's an entire additional layer of security and income that sits on top of this plan, which brings me to the next video. So with that commercial property plus the remaining investment they kept, the couple now has 280,000 per year in net rental income at retirement. So with that commercial property plus the remaining residential investment that they kept, the couple now has 280,000 per year in net rental income at retirement. That exceeds their target. And here's the thing, we haven't even touched on superannuation yet as an entire additional layer of security and income that sits on top of this plan, which brings me to the next video. So with that commercial property plus the remaining residential investment they kept, the couple now has 280,000 per year in net rental income at retirement. That exceeds their target. And here's the thing, we haven't even touched superannuation yet. That's an entire additional layer of security and income that sits on top of this plan, which brings me to the next video. In the next video, I'll show you what happens when we add superannuation into this same plan, specifically how a self-managed super fund and SMSF can be used to buy property inside your super, and what that does to the retirement picture. It's a powerful strategy, but it does need to be done right. I'll walk through the structure, the rules, and how it fits alongside everything you've just seen. Now, this example, it was simplified to show the concept. Every client's numbers, timeline, and goals, they're all different. If you'd like to see what this looks like mapped out with your actual situation, the link below will take you to a short form and we'll build your plan from there. I'm Darren from MoneyBrain. I'll see you on the next one.